the specialist of the strange. Meet the age of darkness. Eyes in the skies will stare upon the rivers of those scouts. And ponder the insanity that comes from their adventures. Welcome to the Bald and Bonkers.
Welcome everyone. I couldn't help myself, I had to do that there, you know. We're joined tonight, guys. We've got a selection of many guests. And no, Dakota hasn't moved house. He's sitting here in his, what is it, you're using your phone, Dakota?
Yep. Happy to use my phone.
We're joined by Sherry. She's one of Santa's elves. Are you one of Santa's elves there, Sherry?
Yeah, well, Santa's elf or wife, whatever you take me as.
We're also joined by Drew's Living History Mysteries. And then we're also joined by an amazing friend, Drew's Paranormal Vlog. So I gave you a kind of super duper welcome there, you know. Now guys, I was going to wear a hat tonight, but my house is very warm, right? And yes, I'm bald, and it is, look, I'll give you a demonstration of it, right? Do you really think I look stupid with this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, that answered that question, because all this time I've been trying to figure out which one was bald and which one was bonkers.
No, we're both bald and we're both bonkers. You know? But I've only got one big bald there, you know? Look at...
Quit playing with your balls on alive.
Look, everybody is all Christmassy and festive tonight. And Dakota looks like he's in the Caribbean. What is that you've got above you, like a fan kind of thing? Is that an American kind of thing, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, see. So guys, we're just going to let it fill up, and tonight we're just going to talk about everything paranormal and everything supernatural, everything possible. Plus we want to try and put Drew's channel out there, help her channel grow, help Living History's channel grow, Sherry's channel grow, and obviously your channel grow, because we're only 15 subscribers off a bloody 1,000. Could it happen for Christmas, Dakota? Could it happen?
Nah, look for them naked babies.
I just don't know, you know.
That'd be a nice present, that would.
There's every possibility. You've got two witches here, come on.
Oh, that's right. Oh, these came out we never discussed that special thing that we're discussing in messages to you. We could announce it, but we can't tell you what it's called now, and we can't tell you when it's starting. We can't tell you it's starting in the new year. The Drew from Paranormal Vlog and Sherry are wanting to do their own show in Bald and Bonkers. But we can't tell you what it's called, because that's a secret. We've got competition, you see. And I take this hat off because I'm bailing.
It'll be fun. It'll be good to get the knowledge out there.
I think it'll be really good. It will be awfully good, because it's... I think it'll bring...
Change the opinion of witches.
Aye. Yes. And it's not just that. The chat, it's there. It'll be about an hour and a half, about an hour-ish long. And you'll be able to talk about spells, and you'll be able to talk about all the kind of things that you like to talk about, which sometimes I don't know what you're talking about, because I just sit and watch the lecture.
Well, that's what's to learn these, isn't it? It's to put things in a simple way that everybody can use it. Is Uncle Danny here?
Danny hugs all of company, so can't come up right now. No problem, Danny. Is that Santa visiting you early? That's terrible. That's what it is.
A lot of our knowledge
Santa's
comes to Danny White Wolf, Sherry and I. A lot of our knowledge comes from Uncle Danny, as I call him.
In fact, I'll make Danny a moderator.
Would you like to explain a wee bit about Uncle Danny's past, Sherry?
Well, my pups is a shaman, a Celtic druid shaman. He also does priest work in his job. He's been in the paranormal for 53 years almost, and his channel is Chasing Bones Inspectors. Please go and check him out because he's very educational in telling you about nature and about life itself and reality. He's a very good investigator as well. He loves to go out and do investigating. He's got other channels as well that he's doing exercise stuff on. He's a very uplifting and inspirational man. There's many things he does, card readings, all sorts of things. So please go over and support him because my pups is awesome.
On his Danny Wolf channel right now, he's showing you.
Danny's Wolf, is the one where he does his exercises and that. So support that and Chasing Bones Inspectors if you ain't got him.
Yeah, I've added Danny there if he wants to post his link to his all his channels. Feel free, guys. Honestly, and everybody in here tonight, please post your channel links because we need to get your channels growing to the same as us because we're nearly at 1,000. We want to see Drew soon at 1,000. We want to see the other Drew nearly at 1,000. Sherry, you're already at 1,000. In fact, we want to see Drew. We want to see Sherry's paranormal. We want to see her at 2,000.
Sherry's almost at 2.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's not going to take me too long because I'm on 1,890. So.
Oh, there you go.
Hopefully
if that was me, it would only take you another 15 years.
I always say pick a video and share it. Just go into our channel, pick a video, even at random, share it out, and even just talk about it.
Oh, there's Shelley Steele there. Evening. Let's see what's the message up there now.
Shelley is my best friend, guys. You'll see her on my channel. She has actually helped me do the camera work.
Yeah. That's what I will be saying to you. Dakota, do you want to tell them we're not doing a show on this, obviously, Christmas Day, because we'll be just sitting eating cakes and biscuits and eating large turkeys and not being able to move. But we have got a pre-recorded one coming, haven't we?
We haven't secured anything yet. Seems like every time we try something this time of year, everybody goes to hell.
But that's just the thing, but we'll see if we can do something for them, you know? We could maybe do something, but
well, I had a question I was going to start off with that could get a conversation going, if you would like to do that.
Well, let's go. Let's go.
Like, as ghost hunters, right, and as witches, what we tend to do is, like, work with the 4 winds, right? Which, in our breakdown, is really your 4 levels of, like, earthbound, Wi-Fi, next realm, like all your different realms, okay? So to use, it's kind of UFO enthusiasts, as we'll call them, right? ET enthusiasts. Do you feel as if, like, maybe spirits are on a realm totally different to the ET and things, and that is why spirits are having a hard time with these entities being around our homes?
That's one for Dakota, I'm afraid, but I believe that there's entities. I believe there's alien entities in the same kind of realms as spirits. But I'm going to hand you over to the master here, the specialist of the strange.
It's all the same. If you've got spirits freaking out about an ET inside your house, that's not one you want around.
Yeah. Because I think the spirits around me are having a wee bit of a hard time with some of this stuff that's going on with ET and stuff, to be honest.
Aye, but
I just wondered if you thought that
there is some alien.
Yeah, just wanted not to get too deeply into it tonight, obviously, because this is to be fun, but it was just to see what you technically thought, whether, like, everything's on the same realm or different realms, and this is why they don't all clash.
Oh, they're realms.
They're all on different realms, but they all entwine, so they can come across each other and bump into each other, and you know, maybe like your energies of the spirits in your house are feeling uncomfortable because the energy that has been around you's not been so good. The one that was around you. So it's like my guys here with me, and my spirits are perfectly fine with them. It's like they know each other and they talk and they get on perfectly fine.
I was just curious because, I mean, all the different realms is interesting. We're on our own realm, obviously, you know.
Well,
obviously, like, as we know, not every person sees a spirit, not every spirit sees every person. It's the same with them. Not every alien is going to see every spirit. Just as the same vice versa.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought that, but I was just sitting thinking, I thought it's an interesting question to start a conversation up with.
Hey, Scottish, I'm just about to say, hey, Scottish Outlooker. Aye, but you got to remember, like, let's take the Roswell incident, right? They say the aliens for the Roswell incident they came from a different dimension. Right?
So that's what I was thinking.
So you think about all the different dimensions. I mean, right, let's take it this way. Let's imagine this right now. They say there's infinite amount of different worlds to your world. So you're sitting in your house, you could be a millionaire somewhere. There's an infinite possibilities of what everyone is has got an infinite different amount of people. The same as us, like, but infinitely. So you think about the different dimensions, right? So if it's the same for us, they've got an infinite different amount of dimensions. Yeah. And then you come into like the spiritual world. Is it the same for them? Yeah. It's never ending. It's like, I will say this though, the entity was with you. It's not there anymore because I can feel that.
No, it's not here.
Sherry, can you sense that too?
It's a lot more calmer. I don't feel
that
she's just stressed out either. She was the other day. She weren't very happy the other day. But
I had to have a full search. But we'll get into that another time. This is a Christmassy one. We'll do that another day.
Aye. So, what else would you like to talk about tonight into the magical world of spirits?
How bloody cold it is in Scotland. This is unnatural.
But that's normal. I like this weather. I find it's refreshing. It's refreshing to go. He likes the cold weather.
Summer, but I think because we had such a warm summer that the winter's really cold right now.
Aye, but the thing in Scotland is if we see the sun for longer than 2 days, we think that's summertime for us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen people putting paddling pools in their back garden before.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
The snow is just lifting from the mountains and people are running about with t-shirts and bikinis on. That's Scotland for you.
Last thing we need to see is you in a bikini there, Chris.
Well, I'm not talking about me personally, but if Dakota, you know, I don't know what you're up to, you know. But, Cherry, why don't you tell us a wee bit about what your beliefs are at Christmas today with kind of like pagan and all that kind of things?
Turn off your vibrators!
So obviously, like for us, like Christmas is Yule, which is celebrate Yule. So lots of tinsel and lots of nuts and sweets and treats, you know, wines and things like that, like Christmassy biscuits and stuff that we will make up. And on that day as well, we also make a meal where we would offer it to the spirits and to our ancestors as well. And I do that every year at Yule. I'll make a full roast dinner, even though it's me here, and put it out for them. And then after, my dog gets it. So all of us are happy. Okay, so I'll make the food, make the puddings and stuff like that. And I cook. I listen to music. I just spend that day celebrating with the spirits and celebrating with my ancestors, really, because I don't really celebrate it with anybody else. So I'll get up in the morning and I'll light my altars and I'll pray and thank Mother Earth, Mother Nature and the Lord for all that I'm blessed with. Then I'll come in and make sure my Christmas tree lights and everything's on and make sure the music's on, and I'll start preparing food and just having a couple of drinks and getting happy. Normally in the evening I do like to do a ritual where I can give my thank yous for this year to Mother Earth and Mother Nature, to the Lord, and to welcome up. Obviously we've already welcomed our new year, but getting ready to welcome the new year in the British prospect. So obviously I'm pagan, so even though I say that I'm pagan because I believe in some of the beliefs, I don't follow things like covens and stuff like that. So to be honest, they're a lot like witches. It's Yule and celebrating and expressing the gratitude. My belief in Christmas is a time to remember your loved ones that you don't have, and to remember the people that you do have, and to be together, and to be happy, to just show love and gratitude. It's about giving. A lot of people forget that Christmas isn't about what you get. That Christmas is about love and respect, and it's about being there for each other. You know, too many people get lost in the presents and everything that they want to get, mobile phones, whatever else. They forget that the real reason for it, the birth of the Lord, and you know, the birth of religions and faiths, and you know, it's about family. It's about time together, and that's what I think people should start remembering again.
But that's the thing nowadays, modern times. I mean, Christmas isn't really like what it used to be. I mean, I can remember, obviously I'm not a wee boy anymore, like, I'm 40 years old, right? I can remember getting all excited, you know, the week coming up to Christmas used to like take forever, and it was probably the same for you, right? The run
up to Christmas is what it's all about to me. I mean, all the different things about preparing the tree and things is what I look forward to each year. Every year.
When you're putting your tree and stuff up, you're putting your intentions into how you feel and into the world and into the people. You know, you're bringing joyful and happy emotions. That's what Christmas should be. And a lot of people forgetting what Christmas really is. Now it's all about who can get the best phone and who's got the best, bag of clothing, and that's not what Christmas is. It isn't.
I mean, I know someone spent
doing the Christmas tree is to do with the Yule log and putting it on the fire and getting the place cosy and things.
See, that's the thing.
That's what I like.
That is the thing, and sitting with your family afterwards on Christmas Day. But that's the thing. I know someone that spent thousands and thousands on their kid. I don't see the point of that. I just don't see the point of spending thousands.
Well, don't get me wrong. It's nice to buy your family and people presents and stuff, but you don't need to go nuts. It's about being together and being happy. That's what Christmas should be. Like Drew's saying, it's the run up to Christmas. It's getting the food.
Fall?
Something blew up.
It blew up.
Did you not just
a glass table or something?
You guys in the chat hear that?
Sorry about that. I was like, what the
hell was that? I thought it was a glass table.
Did you hear that?
It was just a boom.
Was that in Drew's?
No, it was in.
I think it was fall through.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay. I hope his wife's okay.
Nothing's happened.
I was like, I heard kids kicking around over there, so it doesn't exactly sound good.
It sounded like a blooming somebody set off a firework in the living room.
I hope they're okay.
That sounds fucking fun right now.
Do you want me to jump across the screen and go see?
No, I'll put my head down. But you know.
Wow.
But here's the thing, actually. See, Christmas. Is Christmas not a pagan thing anyway? Because it began with pagan. That's the thing.
Yeah, pagan. Christmas is a pagan thing.
There's 7 days of Christmas. It starts with 21st.
It's the 12 days of Christmas or the 23 days of Christmas, because pagans will intend to celebrate the whole month of Christmas, Yule, whatever you like to call it. So it's all just about getting different decorations, putting the tree up, getting different foods organised, putting recipes together, doing prayers and blessings, and just putting that love out there, decorating, making yourself feel good, putting intentions into your food that you're making as well, putting your love and intentions into doing all of your pastries when you're making your soups or whatever you're going to be doing. You're putting that intention in. It's about welcoming the new year. It's about starting fresh again. It's getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. There's just so many things.
Yeah.
It's very important.
I was just going to say in the chat, welcome Dobby Sock and Kate thinking of others.
Can I think an angel?
What's that? Thinking of others, my friends, hello, hard to talk. Has he got something wrong with his throat or something? Has he got the cold or something?
Oh, you're not well thinking.
You know well. Hope you get better, my friend, for Christmas.
Sending you blessings and love.
I hope
Living History's house isn't blown up. Isn't it? I think a lot of people in our faith either like the Halloween tradition, which is obviously Samhain, or they like the Yule one, because that's one of our most important as well.
Here's
the Yule one, because that's all about
question for the
traditions.
Wicca. Here's a question. Is there any spells that you do on Christmas Eve or Christmas?
See, to me it's not about the day. Christmas Day is not important to me for any of our traditions. Maybe Christmas night, because you lay out a meal for your loved ones and things, and you share your Christmas dinner with the spirits that's around you and your ancestors and things. But to me, it is actually all to do with the run-up to Christmas and what each tradition means. So, Christmas Day, yeah, I like that, but... The meals and things is
Sherry,
spirits.
Do you do any magical?
Like for me, for Christmas Day, I will do my ancestral blessing and ritual.
See, everything's supposed to be done by this time of year. This is the time where you're supposed to sit back and rest and see your harvest all around you. That is why we do it during the year. Do you understand? A wee bit more now. We're not supposed to do any spell work or anything at this time of year. This is our resting time.
A question for Living History Mysteries. What was that bang?
Is everyone okay?
Is everybody
That's a very good... It's a very good question. I ran outside and looked to the south of the house, and my wife's friend's place was just covered in smoke, and it was slowly drifting to the east. And I'm like, oh, hell, he's always working on something out in his garage, including half-stick dynamite firecrackers.
Oh, dear
Maybe
God.
something blew up. Oh, dude, you need to see the lot beside their house. There's craters out there that are that big around and that deep where they'll light them and throw them out there, and they shake the ground.
Things happened.
But I went out there. I just ran out there. I was going to run down the road, and all of a sudden I heard him fire up his air compressor, start blowing the smoke out of the garage. So they're all still alive.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, they say like December is supposed to be rest, but some witches do still do their rituals and their spells and give their thank yous. And I always like to my ancestral call out to them when on special occasions. I always do that, and I'll do blessings and give them love and things like that.
Type of thing.
I see. It's a full moon tonight. I see it's a perfect full moon. Did you not think the moon looked a wee bit bigger tonight?
Every single month that there's a full moon, I'll ritual. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or not, because it doesn't. Your face never stops.
Everything we do it anyway.
Every month.
It just makes it a wee bit more special because the winter solstice is on the 21st. I mean, that makes it a wee bit more special this month because you've got the winter solstice in the season, which just means really that you celebrate the beginning of the new harvest, the new festivals and things of life. But witch's job is never done, Christopher. We do things every day. This is why we do the things we do, so we can have the finer things in life, help give to our family, give to our ancestors. We're resting. We've manifested.
Well, I tell you what, here's a question I've wanted to ask Wicca for a long time. What would you say was the most useful spell ever made?
God, sis, what do you think? The gift of life, of course.
I think life is the best source of spell, but
there's nothing better than wishing you had a grandkid, and then that's kind of like manifesting as well. Then you get
a grandson. We could do it for you.
To be honest, there isn't a spell that I have that I think's my favourite or anything like that. I love every spell that I do, and they're all for different reasons and stuff. So I can't really say what I think's my most favourite. It's all. They all mean different things. They're all used for different things. So they all mean different things, you know. So you get the privilege no matter what sort of spell it is, because you know you're helping somebody else and you're helping the planet. And
the difference between spell work and ritual. Spell work is more like targeted at a specific reason, and then but that's obviously a kind of ritual within itself. But the rituals that you do where you honour your goddess and things like that, they're the most important and the most powerful. Because they're the ones that you're giving back your thanks and you're asking for your future desires and things. So your rituals are more important than your spell work. Your dedication and your devotion to things is important.
Here's an interesting question for, say, living history, and you can all answer this too. At Christmas, right, see when you go ghost hunting and stuff like that, you go to like a battlefield, for instance, do you not think the energies come out more and more around about Christmas? Because it is the time for families, and the ones that have been maybe killed in battlefields, or the ones that's been killed in battles, or spirits in region, they know it's coming up to Christmas. What do you think about that?
I've noticed just this year, since the investigations were few and far between last year, with obviously everything going on, people being separated and quarantined and staying locked down, I've noticed this year, with people being more communal, that things have been more active. And yes, the closer we get to the holidays, like we done our investigation last week, and it was very, very active because they had just decorated they call it a castle. Here it's a great big mansion. Yeah. But Henderson Castle in Kalamazoo, Michigan, 25-room house, been around since 1899. It's a bed and breakfast now. They just decorated it for Christmas. And we had a very good investigation out there. Things seemed a lot more active than what they normally would be.
Yeah, the spirits must get excited when you start decorating their house and things. It's inevitable, isn't it?
It makes you wonder that. I mean, Dakota, what's your thoughts on this?
My fault. It's the fact this time of year makes everybody want to kill each other more than the spirits are saying, why?
That's very true.
Well, there is more domestic violence, I suppose.
That's what I was just about to say.
Jealousy over Christmas trees on Facebook is worse for it. People putting their trees up.
Dakota brings up a really, really good point. Not for the same reason. I'm not going to side with him on this. Understand? But we've been waiting on an investigation for several weeks now. And we had a meeting with the people, or we were going to have a meeting with them here a few weeks ago, and something personal came up. They couldn't do it. Well, these folks own a very, very old bar in a town local to us, only about 9 miles away. They've been in business for 22 years. And here recently they started having a lot of activity in the bar. I mean, they've had activity since they've owned it, but nothing like here recently. Yeah. And all the guys are like, because we not only have Living History's Mysteries, but Living History Mysteries is one of several groups in the Midwest Parahistoric Society.
Yep. And
a lot of the other guys are coming at us, and they're like, or coming at me, and they're like, have you got back a hold of them yet? Have you got back a hold of them yet? And I've been trying to tell them, this is the time of the year when the single people, the people that don't have money to do Christmas, widows and widowers, all go to the bar to associate with other people, to have the Christmas dinner and stuff that they offer every year. And they're too busy to do it right now. So in a sense, Dakota is right that, people go ape shit crazy during the Christmas holidays, but,
yeah.
wanting to kill each other, only on Black Friday. That's it.
Yeah.
It's from the end of October to the beginning of November. I have law enforcement contacts that can verify this. People are wanting to either kill each other or end themselves. It never fails.
Too much eggnog.
Taxes. Mother-in-laws.
Which,
it's really
going to...
It's... Go on.
When you go live in history, when you go... Sorry.
Oh, okay.
When you go...
with everything that's happened with my channel in the last month, I've really lost a lot of that Christmas spirit, because this was all stuff that's out of my control. This, as near as we can understand, the person that did this to us was jealous, because when we went from history and paranormal to only paranormal, that's when we really started to grow. And, 200, 300 subscribers a month. And then all of a sudden, in a week and a half, 3 copyright strikes. And all 3 of them had the same email address latched to them. So this was somebody who didn't want us there. So not only did I lose over 4,000 subscribers and over 900 videos, but I lost my only income. So there's not going to be a Christmas in our house this year. Plain and simple. And I've lost. We're coming back. We're like 100 and we're like 113, 114 people now. I've only had the new channel for a week, but it's hard to make the kids understand why there's not going to be Santa Claus isn't coming this year. That's the hardest thing. My wife supports our family. My $200 some odd a month I was making before, that didn't do a lot of supporting. That supported my channel, that supported my studio, that supported my habit, and those are things that my wife didn't have to do anymore. Now it's all fallen back into her lap again to take care of the family until I can get monetized again. So I kind of lost a little bit of that Christmas spirit, because Christmas has always been magical for me. I didn't wait for Santa Claus to come on Christmas morning. When I grew up, I wanted to be Santa Claus. And I always am Santa Claus every year.
I mean, it's the
There's
dream
my
job.
coat.
It's the dream job. It's the dream job when you think about it, being Santa Claus. You only work one day a year, right? And every house you go to, you get a glass of milk or a glass of sherry or a glass of whiskey and a large selection of Christmas pies. I mean, who wouldn't want a job like that? Look at Dakota, he's thinking the new. I wonder if I could apply for that.
I personally prefer the little cakes with peppermint frosting and eggnog. But I mean, that's just me.
Eggnog, ladies.
Lactose intolerance and diabetes. Yeah.
Walking by the Christmas tree and putting a candy cane every time.
I'm telling you, that's that. I'm telling you, when we go for the night, every one of us have got to be looking for the perfect. I'm telling you, can you imagine doing that one job a year? And all the food you could ever want, cakes. Good God.
I'm quite sure Mrs. Claus took the reins a few Christmases.
Aye, but I don't know.
Sherry,
Mrs. Claus, because you're dressed as Mrs. Claus.
Definitely Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
How's Mr. Claus this weather? Because you're looking very...
I don't know. Well, he's not here at the minute. He's making the toys.
See, that's He's away making toys,
He's in the workshop.
Toys.
And Dakota's one of those. I can't get out of the fact...
say what sort of toy? Any sort of toy you could dream of, Dakota.
Oh my God. Oh, thank God.
Dobby Socks, you have got to try it. It's almost like a very, very a thick, sweet cream. It's so good. Oh my God, it's good. I wait every year for eggnog to come out.
It's
I
something
was
I've
on
never
Wolf
tried.
and Hound's live chat, and I was asking them how I think they were talking about eggnog, and they were telling me that you can put alcohol in it or not alcohol. So that's interesting.
I went to buy some, right, and the only place I could buy it was Amazon, right? $9.99 for 700 mils of this stuff. I was like,
what actually is it?
I
It's
just
yellow.
my Baileys, my Irish cream.
You have to put the Irish cream.
Yes.
I mean,
Or
what
maybe-
actually is eggnog? Is it egg? Is there eggs in it?
It has egg in it.
Big juicy
Does it
wapple.
get cinnamon? Does it get cinnamon in it?
It looks like
There's cinnamon.
or something.
There's a little bit of cinnamon in it and stuff. The best way to describe it's how I did to Dobby. It's almost like it's not a really thick, heavy cream, but it's heavier than milk.
You're the Pornhub thing.
Heavier than milk, not as heavy cream, very sweet. But it's just a thick, creamy drink. And, I mean, you can add cinnamon to it, you can add peppermint to it, you can add liquor to it. I just cannot believe you can't buy it in your market over there.
Yeah. Does it
Eggnog came from the UK.
I'm going to buy the powder corn next year.
I've heard of eggnog. I've
never tasted it.
I'd never tasted it until like 7 years ago, but I only had it then once when I was at my friend's house. That was all right.
I think
but
it's
not really my sort of.
It just looked like that
drink.
yellow drink to me.
Not my sort of.
The cream on it or something.
What other Christmas delights do you like in Christmas? What's the tastiest thing that you look forward to Christmas? There's Dakota, you can tell them.
My cocoa.
Cocoa?
My cocoa. I make... Yep, I make cocoa every year for the family with whipped cream on it and peppermint sprinkled on top of it. I break up peppermint sticks and melt it in the hot cocoa.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good.
That does sound really good. What about you, Drew? What's your favourite?
Christmas Eve, because that's when you get your cocoa out and your marshmallows and sit with a Christmas movie in your new pyjamas.
Talking about Christmas, right? Do you know that Christmas is a time of year when they tell ghost stories?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
we're
actually doing something for you. Drew actually, Living History Comes Alive actually did what the other day there. Was it Krampus? And that's what we're going to be doing on Wednesday, because I've got loads of like photos and stuff like that and like stories we've got to talk through and stuff on Wednesday just for some, before Christmas. But Drew, from Living History, can you tell us something about Krampus? Because you know it.
God, what could I tell? For those of you that don't know, Krampus is he's a Germanic legend where Santa Claus brings toys and gifts and candies and stuff to good little boys and girls. Krampus comes after Santa and punishes bad kids. Depending upon how much you want to scare the hell out of your children, he will either spank them with a whip, or he will spank them with a gad, a branch of a tree. Sometimes he kidnaps them and takes them back to his castle. Sometimes he eats them. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of legends about it.
I mean, what I found it very interesting. Is any of you here seen Krampus the movie? Where he comes, he's dressed kind of like Santa Claus, but he's got horns in his head. But it's actually a German thing, isn't it? It's like it goes way back to like really early in the German history period, where he would just come along and all the bad kids, he would take away the bad kids, basically. See, in Germany, I don't know if they're doing it.
It's like I said at the end of my video in my outro, it's like, well, at least now we know why German children are so much better behaved than American children.
Because a scared child is a well-behaved child. Do you not see that?
They get the crap scared out of them. Here, that's considered mental abuse, and you lose your kids for it. So,
well,
I mean, I've actually seen things. I watched a documentary about it on TV about Krampus, actually, right? And they went to Germany, and before Christmas, the 2 days before Christmas, they do like a parade through certain towns, and it's Krampus.
So he's basically a serial killer at Christmas.
See some of the stories. One of the stories for the I would say 1700s to 1800s. I read one of the stories, right, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, see, that wouldn't be even allowed to tell the kids now because it was that bad, right? See, now it's been dumbed down. It's been like numbed down. Kind of, I mean, they've taken the whips out it in the bag, taking them back to hell and stuff like that. But I know a lot of people that do a lot of Christmas, do a lot of ghost stories, mostly on Christmas Eve.
It was
they sit with the log fire and they talk about haunted.
That's because you want all them wee ones to get in bed and cover their head up.
Aye. So Sherry, do you know any ghostless tales of Christmas past? Obviously when you've been talking to Santa Claus.
My mum always started her ghost stories like that. It was a dark and stormy night. 3 men sat by a fire. Then you'd run before she told the story because you were that creeped out.
To be honest, a lot of like the spirit stories and stuff like around here, they're all like related to like the whole year round and stuff like. There isn't a specific story like I can put to tea round here that's based around Christmas. The only one that I can is obviously the Christmas Carol, like the 3 spirits that visit Ebenezer Scrooge, and that's my most favouriteest, I guess, ghost story, because it is a ghost story, because it, you know, it's about him and not liking Christmas. Then it becomes obviously a fan of Christmas after Christmas past and Christmas future and Christmas present actually shows him, you know, the true value of the life and what it should be like, and that he's been selfish. And you know, I like that film because it learns you about value, and it learns you not to be greedy, and that you should give to others that are less fortunate, unfortunate. Sorry, and then in the other way, it's a ghost story, isn't it? Like there's like stories that have carried on from that you're meant to be able to hear. The chains of his friend when he's walking the corridors. You can see the spirits come at certain times, of like a certain time at night, midnight. The first one, I think it is, and then it's midnight. Then I think it's like 1:30. Then like just after 3 o'clock, there's like 3 different spirits. It's between 12 and 3. He sees all the spirits.
And the last one was at the Christmas. What's the last one? It's like the Green Reaper.
You got Christmas past, Christmas future, and Christmas present.
I'm just thinking Dakota will be sitting on Christmas Eve with his cover up to his eyes, looking around at him, you know, waiting for the chains rattling up the hallway. He went through the whole year being stubborn and not doing all his best, didn't he? And then he had to learn a lesson. So the whole point was that these spirits were showing him what his life could end up being like. So he could either be liked and be respected and be loved. And, you know, be around his family, or he could just die an old, lonely man that was bitter and twisted. That's kind of what they were trying to show him. How but they saved
nasty it was.
They saved the soul, though. They saved the soul, basically, because they knew if he continued down the road he was on, he was going to go to hell when he died. Because the way he was.
That was the ultimatum. It was either he learns his way or he continues down the path that he was going down. So, obviously, after having the lovely visit from all 3 of the spirits, his attitude changed. He woke up the next day on Christmas Day telling a young boy to go to the butcher's and get him the biggest goose he had. You know, like everything changed. And he took that to his worker. He took the goose to his worker that didn't have no food, which was little John's family. Because Tiny Tom died, didn't he? Tiny Tom died, and he took the food round to the family and celebrated, and he went round to see his family, which he hadn't done for years.
Yeah. Yeah, Cherry, you didn't tell us that Santa was coming today.
Oh, well, he did, look.
Don't be kissing Santa.
Yeah.
Mr. Santa Claus is here, guys.
You know?
He took vacation for
I
a
know.
couple of hours.
He's
And then he's
left
back
those
to
mince
making them
pies.
presents.
He's left those mince pies
You
and
couldn't
hot
resist
chocolate.
it.
And,
He's not drunk enough.
I know. You think about it, by the way, Santa Claus is bound to get really pissed when he's on his journey. You think about all these
Exactly.
sherries and whiskies. And,
Isn't that what Jolly originally meant, was drunk? So if you think about it, we have all these little kids singing Christmas carols about some big fat drunk guy breaking into their house and leaving them presents because he felt bad so no one would call the cops.
We have got an Ebenezer Scrooge before he transformed, clearly.
and that does, you know. It's, my God, it's Santa Claus. So, Dakota, what do you want for Christmas?
Oh, none.
You want to sit in Drew's lap and tell him what you want for Christmas?
No. Rather not.
You know,
I don't think Paul
go for a ho ho ho, but that's about it.
You know, he's bound to have a dream that he's want, right? So, Sherry, I'm going to ask you straight up right now, what's your dream that you want right now?
to be with my man.
Right. Oh, yeah, deal. But it will happen. You'll get there. You'll get to America.
I will,
It'll
and
happen
you
for
know
you.
I'm waiting my time out. So, like that. To be honest, there isn't anything apart from that him. You know, there isn't anything I want. You know, like it's really hard for me to celebrate Christmas because I don't have my children and stuff around me. So Christmas is quite a difficult time for me. So I intend to just like I said, make it about me and the spirits. So,
Well, I've got a prediction. You will be there soon in the next
March,
months.
hopefully. March.
Hopefully. Dakota, if you did anything right now, what would it be?
Get off this planet.
Oh.
Get off! Let me live!
I'll go to Living History Comes Alive. If you did any wish come true when Christmas, Living History, what would it be?
I don't know. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I've not given it much thought. With everything going on, I've put myself aside. See, I had plans this year. I was actually going to adopt a needy family this year, and with everything that happened, not only did they screw my family out of Christmas, they screwed another needy family out of Christmas. So, you know, it's taking everything I got to get or to stay in Christmas spirit for my viewers, for my friends, for my family, for my community. And
your community, there was a big bang at your neighbours. They might not have a home.
But you got to understand, I live in such a small village here.
Yeah.
Literally, you count my downtown and my rural area, it's less than a mile by a mile.
Right.
It is a wee tiny little place. And here we have a term here that we use quite frequently. It's called redneck. And that's what a lot of our village is rednecks, playing with dynamite, making firecrackers, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, is it maybe something that
fun-loving people?
Hope they're okay.
Oh yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They were outside still working.
Right. Okay, that's good.
But if I had to pick something, I would want to see everybody happy.
Yeah.
See all the fighting and stuff stop for a little bit. You know, there's a famous song, and it's based on a real story during World War II.
Yeah.
And it also there's stories of it coming from the Civil War. where on Christmas Eve, men laid down their guns.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll remember right, it was German and the Allied forces that sang Silent Night together on Christmas Eve. In the Civil War, there's stories of men just walking out to the middle of a field, and okay, well, you need some tobacco. Here's a bag of tobacco. Oh, you need some coffee? Well, here, my friend, here's some coffee. And Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
They would turn around and go back to their units and start fighting again at dawn on Christmas Day. But I mean, I would like to see that kind. If two men who are bound and damn determined to blow each other's brains out on the battlefield, or if 2,000 men can stop long enough to sing an ageless song and play for a few minutes together and laugh for a few minutes together, then anybody can do it. It don't matter what color you are. It don't matter what nationality you are. It don't matter what language you speak.
Yeah. You're 100%. You're 100% right. What's that? Is there a question in the chat? Well, the question was, if you had to have anything on Christmas Day, what would it be, Drew?
All right.
What would it be?
I suppose good health, isn't it, really? Everybody wishes that they can stay here a little bit
but
longer.
Imagine you could have anything you wanted, but you could only have one thing. What would it be?
I think it would be good health to everybody in the family, if it was a thing they could pick like that. Good health to everybody. Because everybody deserves to have good health, and then what other choices they make is their own choice.
Yeah. But it's that one, living history, that's a good one to stop all wars, because the world is going mad. You think about it. I mean, the world is going mad. You just need to look at Russia now with Ukraine and stuff like that. And Dakota, he wants off the planet. You might get your wish tonight, Dakota.
Oh, according to my K2, that just might happen. So, Pornhub.
My K2
Have you got your camera down? I feel like I'm strained because I'm looking up at you.
Well, I'm almost 7 feet tall in real life, so get used to it. I don't know. I'm 6'7".
My God.
You're just now realizing that.
You don't really do my size. Because to me, you're only really that size. But here, you're really only a bit.
Well, I know what Dakota wants for Christmas. A 6'6" woman.
Hey, living history. He's in the stars. He's probably already got that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and I think there's a baby number 3.
He knows all, but it's Christmas. It's true. It's time to be with family and friends and stuff.
Maybe that's why Dakota looks like that, so you can draw on what you like.
Yeah.
Draw on what colour of hair you like, what colour.
My brother's in the chat, and he's just put. That's what.
No, I'm laying down.
He looks like the guy from the stick.
Yeah, so you could draw actually on what you like. Big eyebrows.
Oh my God! That is actually. I've just had a vision. I bet what
colour of hair like mine.
Oh, dear God.
You know, Dakota, women like bad guys. So I think if you put on the right hat and the right glasses, you look like Walter White.
What?
Oh, you're a very handsome Walter.
Oh, good.
A very handsome Walter White, but Walter White nonetheless.
Dakota's on TikTok and he wears a wig and things, and he's actually pretty funny.
I know.
I've never seen
God.
Dakota on TikTok. I didn't know Dakota was
I've
on
never
TikTok.
seen Dakota on TikTok.
I have to go subscribe to Dakota on TikTok.
Yeah, Dakota's on TikTok.
It's my brother who, I'm not going to read that word out here.
Who's Walter White?
Oh my God.
Google him.
You're right, Dobby.
Google him.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. You are right, Dobby. I'm 5'7.5". My dad is 5'11". So, you know, I kind of got screwed out of that whole tall thing because my wife is the same height as me, and I don't like the fact she can look me straight in the eyes. That scares the hell out of me. And I understand what you mean about that half inch being very important. Huh?
I've got a vision of Walter White now every time I look at Dakota.
You know, I so often go on investigations and people ask me, "Are you scared?" And it's like, scared? I've died 3 times. I've been married twice. I ain't scared of nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, if I die, I'm going to go to hell. Satan's going to pop out behind a rock and go, he's going to go, oh, shit, you been married? Ah, crap. Well, this place ain't going to surprise you much. You got the pit of fire over here.
I think Dakota get caught in the time warp there. His image just went all weird. Do you know?
What dimensions?
See, that's the aliens. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming for you.
We stand behind.
Taking us away. He's taking us away. So Sherry,
see, the really bad thing is Dakota's probably been abducted before and just don't realize he has an entire race of little Dakotas running around on some alien world right now.
There's probably
just all Dakotas. Video with the 3 crafts coming up out that volcano.
Yeah. Did you see the one above Glasgow the other day? The UFO above Glasgow?
No. Where is it? Can I see it?
It's on a video which I can't show in here because copyright claims, but I can send it to you after.
Yeah.
But there's the UFO stuff, talking about UFO stuff, is off the scale. Totally off the scale.
Yeah, Bowman's been posting 1, 2 and 3 a day.
There's been more UFO sightings in this last week than there has been last year. And they're just totally off the scale. Something biblical is going to happen soon. And it makes you wonder what's going on.
Sherry, can you feel something different in the air to last year at this time of year? Because I can feel.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like last year, I found it was very depraved and very depressing, and like everything just felt very heavy. Where this year it feels very energetic, very electric feeling. Like there's a lot of energy around, and definitely. Doing its thing. Yeah,
I definitely feel as if
there's a lot more activity in UFOs and in the paranormal. I've noticed as well.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the.
Was that clear, James? Yes, I'll send it to you. I mean, the UFO stuff's totally out the scale. I mean, it's ridiculously out the scale now. I mean, I think something big's going to happen in the next couple of months.
Well,
I don't think the government can keep it locked away for much longer.
Right? Going back to numerology and things, okay? 2022 is that's going to be your 3 2s, right? Which in itself is something special for next year. So that's why I think a lot of things are changing right now. Is for the preparation of 2022, which is going to be totally different to anything we've ever seen.
The beginning of the end.
Probably a lot to do with numerology as well, because it is 2022.
Yeah. It's either, as Dakota says, it's the beginning of the end, or it's the beginning of a new era.
Oh, we're preparing. We're nearly finished. We're almost finished.
A lot of people get really scared when you say that, though, do they? Like, it's the beginning of the end. Like, they think that means the world's completely ending. When it's not so much that the world's ending, it just the way that we've lived, the way we've been used to be able to have things is going to completely change. Like,
a lot of people thought that it was going to be like a resurrection, that no taking into day with religion whatsoever, one religion better than the other. But a lot of religions have believed that this year, 2021, there was going to be like an Antichrist kind of movement and things like that, which never happened. But they did know something was going to happen. It's just that it wasn't that. And this is what all these different evangelists and things have probably been sensing all these years, because they don't realise that maybe they think that they're a higher being close to God. But what say these people are really just psychic and can sense that something is coming. It's just that they're Christian and whatever else and think it's going to be the return of Jesus Christ. Whereas it's not. It's good. They're sensitive to the fact that the world is changing and things are definitely going to be different. It's just not the return of Christ.
Can you imagine what will happen? Right, say you wake up. Next year comes, you wake up one morning, you all wake up one morning, live on TV, there's UFOs, they're here, they're showing themselves. Can you imagine what that's going to do for certain things? I can understand why the government have kept it hidden for so long, because they've maybe wanted to tell us, but you think what do you think about this, Dakota? Do you think there'll be a lot of fear when it happens with religions? First of all, religions. What do you think? What do you think will happen the day one it happens?
It's not going to be this big warm welcome as people want.
No.
Or expect. If we try to claim that humanity is ready, no, we're not. Just look at how we're treating each other, how easy it is for the news media to turn us all against each other over completely stupid things. Ronald Reagan said it years ago that it's going to take an alien threat. I don't think he was meaning literally, but at this point, we don't know. Ooh, that sounded like a fun car.
But it's like, no, you imagine it, you get up. Can you imagine what that'll do for religion, though? Can you imagine what that'll actually do for religion? Because there's some religions out there that are so strict, but I'm not going to mention them, right? And they only believe in what they believe in, right? And when that turns up, when the wee guy jumps out the shop and goes, hello, right, or whatever it is.
I think if they were to turn up, I think there'd be a lot of people questioning it. They'll be questioning their faiths and that because they've been led to believe it's not real.
Right, what if they came with a gift of curing cancer? How would you feel about that as a human being?
Look at how people treat the current situation in the world right now.
Listen, I've knew a few people on YouTube that I've followed for a few years that has said they've put the Astral Pilot on YouTube's a good example. Years ago, he put out a couple of videos where he had been seeing entities in his garden. He also had a few experiences where he had been woken up and feeling as if he had been abducted and things, right? He had also took photographs and video of the cloaking of the ETs in his garden, right? But my point being, he's been saying for years and trying to prove to people for years that he was getting abducted, he was getting kind of tested because he was coming back with as if they had been taking blood, maybe even tissue samples and things. Now he's getting treated for cancer. So what is if the theory is that people got abducted because the ETs have been knowing this for years and they were going to come with a gift, maybe a curing cancer, and this is why people with illnesses and things have been abducted throughout the years, is because they've been doing the mathematicals to cure cancer when they come, or something else.
That's actually quite a good thought. That is actually. But the Greys, let's bring up the Greys, right? The Greys are well known. And the reason they take humans is because they did genetic research. See the Greys, they're like clones. There's like one guy controls them all with a certain map. And this is actually, you can read this stuff. It's the Greys, they're like clone after clone. That's what their race is, right? They're just a clone after clone after clone for thousands and thousands of years. And the reason they take humans is because Dakota knows more about this. I mean, they take the DNA with Dakota.
Well, first off, all we need to do is look at what happened with Dolly the sheep and her offspring, for lack of a better word. Technically, when they took the DNA samples from Dolly, cloned it to actually bring in more sheep, those sheep were born at the same age as Dolly. They have all the genetic deformities. The DNA tends to deteriorate with age. They've known this for quite some time. They're trying to figure it out. They say once you figure it out, you can technically make someone immortal. You start cloning over and over again without some sort of contingency plan. Those DNA samples are going to get ruined.
See, I think that if they're going to appear, they're going to have to come with something, okay? They're going to have to come, if they're definitely peaceful, they're going to have to come with something that is going to kind of put mankind look on them as different. They're going to have to prove in a kind of certain way that they're here to be peaceful. If something like that was a gift.
Drew, if they come, Drew, right, they're going to give us technology that will get rid of oil overnight, right? Mm-hmm. They'll give us, we'll never need to burn another bit of fossil fuel ever again, or use nuclear ever again for power. Yeah. And I think you're right, they will cure a lot of illnesses.
UFO man's in the chat right now.
That's what I was just going to say. Merry Christmas, UFO man. I hope you have a lovely Christmas too.
Hi, lovely Tim. And hello to Tommy as well. Happy Christmas.
Welcome, guys.
One of the things that's been really weighing on me lately. When I was very young, I was an uber geek. When this new variant, and I'm not going to mention any names because, I've heard that they smack your channel for you saying the word. But when this new variant came out in South Africa, and the World Health Organization announced that they're going to go to South Africa, they're going to give this thing an official variant name.
Yeah. I
looked at my wife jokingly when they said it would probably start with the letter O. And this is honest to God. I told her, I said, would it be funny if they named it Omicron?
Yeah.
And she said, why? I said, do you remember the 1987 Transformers animated movie?
Yeah.
Omicron was the destroyer of worlds.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Traveled through the universe, consuming entire worlds. And lo and behold, 2 days later, they announced the name as Omicron.
Yeah. Everything is done by design.
That's what's been weighing on my... I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens for a specific reason.
Yeah, of course.
And that thought right there, the destroyer of worlds, scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because now, 3 weeks ago, this thing was stuck in South Africa. Now they're thinking about locking down the UK again. Now we have states in the United States that's bringing things up to lock down again. Everything.
Yeah.
And that thought terrifies me.
Oh yeah, we're gonna lock down again. Sherry, when you go?
Yeah.
To be honest, I think the world's just messed up at the minute, and personally, I think that if they come back from that, it is simply to just try and help us to do better here. And I'm not saying they're all good; they're not all good. There's going to be some that try other things, but most of them want to come here because they want to help. Like, I believe that they've got things for us in line to help us, and like you said earlier, a lot of people probably will freak out at the very sight of them turning up and stuff like that, but there will be a lot of people that will also be acceptance of them because, let's face it, in this world there are so many people that believe in UFOs and stuff like that now that a lot of us will be open to it and be okay with it, but a lot of us won't be. So it's going to be divided. But I think this will be a way of making the world see in a different way, being able to become acceptance of other people and other races and other things. Yeah. Maybe this is the way to maybe with them coming here is going to make this world the way it's meant to be, because it's going to show people that there is more to what we're educated and shown here, you know. So
I mean, in theory, the world the Earth the new should be 100 years more advanced than it is right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's because we've been destroying it and that. And I think that if they come back and they show, because if you think about, we've been taught and grown up to learn that certain races are not good, and you shouldn't be like this, and you should be like this, and we've been brought up to be influenced by technology and other things, but we don't have a freedom of thinking and a freedom of speech, really. Even though we talk and we speak, there is only so much that we can say and do. And I think once they come back and stuff, I think that there's not going to be a lot that our governments and people like that are going to be able to say anymore.
I think they'll try that. I think they will try.
Yeah, they will. Of course they will. With the government, of course they'll try. But people will wake up. People will like, well, we don't trust your words anymore. We don't trust who you are anymore. You've said all this time that we've been educated in school, we've been educated here, there and everywhere that this isn't real, and now look at it. It's here.
That's why I think they'll come with something spectacular. It's going to put.
I think that they're coming in because they're going to change the world. I think they want to change this world. They want this world to be different. They don't like our rulers. They don't like the way that they're kept secret. That, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they do try to bring another strategy into play.
They deserve their place the same as we get our place. They deserve it as well.
The thing is,
it's not just our world. It's their world, but it's their universe, our universe, so they deserve it.
No, you see, the thing is, they've been here before we've been here. And they're here now. They're just waiting for that opportunity. I think they're waiting for something, I don't know what it is, but they're waiting for something to happen. Dakota, do you have any ideas what they're waiting? Why do you think they're waiting, Dakota?
They're waiting for the big one.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
The thing that really terrifies me is, you know, it would be amazing if a race from another world came here and they tried to straighten things up and they tried to give us new technologies and new medications and things that would improve us. But I sit here as a historian and I think back through history at every great advancement we've made in medicine and every great advancement we've made in technology. And in many cases, before the inventor's even dead and gone, we have found a way to bastardize it. And in many cases, make it something evil or make it a weapon or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, thank you to the ETs for coming here and giving us these wonderful things. The cure for cancer.
That's why
they're going to give us let's give them the cure for cancer. Then some pharmaceutical company is going to find some way to manipulate it, and they're only going to make it available to the super rich.
See.
So the people like us that are scraping by just die.
No, if they decide to come, they're going to live among us, because this is why they've obviously did. This is why they went and built their own entity, if you like, that is half ET and half man. It's so that it can survive among us. They've probably been already surviving among us. We just don't know.
What you must understand is there's millions of different races in the universe, right? In the Milky Way galaxy where we are the new, in the Milky Way where we are the new and all that, what is there, Dakota, 24, 23 different varieties of humanoid alien that just look like us. So you've got like the Palladians that are a wee bit taller, like Dakota. They're tall, they're blonde, they've got blue eyes, they're the Palladians, and then you've got ones that look a wee bit different. But that's what people don't realise, that there's trillions and trillions and trillions of worlds out there with life on them.
Yeah. And many, many beings. And like,
yes,
I understand where Drew living history is coming from, like when he's saying about, but I'd be worried about the technology and what it'd be used for. I don't think they're going to be so forthcoming to giving that to the government and that. You think about how many times they've had to deal with our government and with our world, and how they've been pushed aside and pushed out and things like that. You know, all of these years and all these times that they've been visiting back and forth, what do you think they've been doing? They've been getting themselves ready for this moment. So when it comes to it, there is never going to be anything that's going to be able to stand up against them. There isn't going to be. So anybody that betrays them, that they don't like the government and people like that, if they come, are not safe because of how they've been treated by them. You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah.
I believe I'm not saying like we're going to lose our queen and our royal family, we're going to lose this, we're going to lose that, but there is going to be big changes, and you know, these beings are a lot more forward than us in all sorts of things. And
want to restructure the way we live.
I wouldn't be so worried about worrying where all the technology and that's going or anything, because to be quite honest, they've probably already got this all planned out and ready.
Yeah.
So
that is the point. If they do show themselves and they do reveal who they are, they're going to be here helping us with the things that the government and things like that would do. Because they're going to be
they're going to want to wake us up. They want to wake us up to reality and truth. That's what they want.
They're going to teach us the different ways to do these things as a community, which will be with the different species of them living among us and helping us live a better life, healthy living.
It's not just that though, is it? That's not just why they're doing it. They would also be coming in to do that, to show us that we have got our own minds and our own way of thinking, and that nobody owns us. Nobody owns us.
Again, this is going to sound mad, right? But see, ever since we started talking about aliens, we're getting all the UFO folk in. That's weird, that, isn't it?
I know.
Because
that's what I'm saying. They're going to teach us a different way to live.
It's really weird, that, the UFO
planet will survive longer.
Remember, give us a subscribe, please, people, because we're only 15 away from 1,000.
Could you imagine that, though?
I understand that, Dobbies. That's true. The government will see them as an enemy because they're here to do good, but they already see the government as an enemy because of what they do already. So they're not safe. The government wouldn't be safe. Like, you know, I'm not being funny. I would trust my life more in an extraterrestrial's hands than my own government.
Oh yeah.
By far.
They'll teach probably as a way to live as... Do you remember the old way of living where we all lived? I mean, Scotland especially, we all had our clans, where no decision was made outside the clan. Every decision was made as a family. They're going to reintroduce us to that way of living, back to the way a clan's family. Everything is made as the decisions are made as a community, not just 2 and 3 people that decide that this is the way to live. It's going to be a decision.
All these aliens that are in charge, like let's bring up the Galactic Federation, right? The Galactic Federation, once we actually join them, because it will happen, once they come, and that it might take a few years, it might take maybe 10, 20, 30 years or so, but eventually we'll join them, we'll be like them, and then it'll be our job to go to another world that was like this world at one point. And then that'll just happen again, and again, and again, but the Earth will not be independent countries anymore. It'll be one. Everything will be one. There'll be no more like independent countries. It'll all just be one. If you think about it, right, the Earth will be the only. There'll no be United Kingdom, there'll no be France, there'll no be Germany. They'll still exist, right? But they'll no need leaders. They'll just need one leader. And I don't know how that will work. What's your thoughts on that, Dakota? Dakota looks a wee bit kind of tonight as if he's been...
See, I don't think there will just be one leader. I think everything will be that they'll kind of live among us and be like you've walked down the street and you'll see them, and they'll be like part of our communities, and they'll teach us a new way of living. But like back to organic, back to this is all through time, of course. This isn't going to happen in the next 10 years. But
I do believe there will be some sort of government sort of thing, even if it's not the way that we know government and that. I do believe that they will have that sort of thing out there, but it'll be like what Sis is saying. They're not going to be like our government. They will mingle with us, intervene with us, teach us, be the way that people that are meant to look after their world and their people should be. That's what they're going to be. They're going to show all of these idiots, excuse me, that we have over us now, how it should really be done. Because let's face it, none of our government or anybody that's here does their job correctly. The richer get richer and the poorer get poorer. Yeah. It won't be like that if they're here.
They're killing us.
That will change.
I will say this. Do you see in the last? I don't know, Sherry, Drew, everybody here with the psychic abilities and all that. I don't know if you noticed that there's something running about us right now. Because something just went. All my hairs just stood up.
That's why I've been quite quiet on here, because I'm sensing energy going up.
Look at Dakota.
And Dakota just keeps freezing.
Dakota said they're already here. As I've been saying.
Aye, they're already here. I ken that. They've been here for a while. I don't know what it is, but I had a terrible migraine tonight, right? And I've been taking painkillers.
There's a very, very high powered energy around.
I mean, it's just my migraines just went. It's just stopped the new there. It's just stopped. It's weird that. It's like there's something running about us right now, and I'll tell you why. Because all my hair and my arms are standing up.
And my dog is crying.
So is mine.
Yes.
Mine's sitting near the gate crying.
Yeah.
It's moaning.
Something is afoot, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is visiting us.
I've just got a chill as well.
You know? Yeah, I go to day. It's weird. It's
right down
my
spine.
Freezing cold. Yeah, it's like freezing cold, but it's not a bad thing. It's like a.
No, it's not nasty, but that was ice cold. That was. I was like, oh my god, with it.
I think that here, because we're talking about them, and I think some of the people in the chat know who we think they are.
But if you think about it, when you speak about them, it's like inviting them, isn't it? Because you're opening yourself to them, you're talking about them, they're hearing this. That's going to be well, if they're talking about us, then we might as well just show up.
See, look at that, Claire James in the chat. She's saying that she's just a child, plus her dog is very unsettled and crying.
Yeah. There's been a few people saying that today, that their dogs have been funny.
I thought it was because Liam wasn't in, but Liam's in now and she's still doing it.
Yeah. I can feel it. That was weird. I get a weird tone in the ear, and then my migraine was really, really bad, and then all of a sudden, when Dakota started going wonky,
I've got to put my blanket over my legs, I've gone chilly.
It just dissipated, it just left my migraine just disappeared, and that's unusual because it usually takes 2 days to go away. So Dakota, do you want to tell us anything? See, series of came all these galaxies away to speak to us. What's your message for humanity? But listen, Merry Christmas.
Well, me and Mr. Father Christmas down there has come all the way from Lapland to hear what you've got to say.
I know. Now come on. You're here obviously right now, you know. You know what to tell us anything? Or you just want to sit there looking all mystical and...
I came from the Ice Palace.
You know, what's that? Dobby's world governments are true, the evils are... Yep, true, there's Black Dragon. You know. So, Dakota...
He's got something in him, isn't he?
Or Black Dragon.
I think something's going to happen, but I don't think it will happen while it's live. Because I don't think they like to talk when they're live.
That's very true, Black Dragon. They are the true evil in the world, definitely.
It's
the government.
So you have to be really careful because, I mean, you've got to ask yourself why now, right?
Because
so if things in the world has gone that bad, you've got to kind of trust them and go with it, because they're not going to come and help us or do what they're going to do. They would have did it by now. There's obviously a reason, And
Yes,
it has to be to help us. Because they would have harmed us by now if they were going to.
They could easily wipe us out.
Exactly.
They have got
Even
all that
making it
technique and energy and everything, technology, everything there. They could do that within.
It's quite interesting.
You know what I mean?
Mr.
It's
Eternal
not,
Aliens here.
They're not coming here to end us.
No.
They're coming here because they want to help, but it's not going to be something that's just going to happen overnight. It's going to take time to build up.
I think if we were here in 100-year time, we would see a big difference.
Yeah.
If
well,
you
you'll
don't
see
come
difference
along,
straight away. You will see difference in our time, but it's just going to take. It takes time, you know. Like
well,
they're
they
going to get here and
that movies always mimic time. I mean, and if you go back all the different movies, that was one 2021 or something. There was a movie of 2001 or something. And everything is always as from reality.
I mean, there's black dragons.
Yeah, black dragon. There always is.
Yeah, it's going around all of us. Yeah.
I can feel it.
There's an energy between me and Sherry as it is, and then there's an energy between me and Chris as it is. So all these different energies together is one.
I'm not letting them in. I know who's here right now. I know who he is. I know where he's from, but I'm not letting them into me right now. I can hear him. I can feel him. But Dakota's already let him in, haven't you? It's great. It's a great interesting.
Always does though, because he wants the experience.
He wants the experience. Yeah,
he is the specialist of the strange. This is what he does. He's got to do it because he is the one that tests the water for everybody else that's coming along.
The entity that's here to do is someone that is really very powerful, and I don't think he's a he or a she. I don't know what he is.
Things. They couldn't appear and live among us if it wasn't for people like you, Dakota and Sherry, that can actually talk to them and communicate with them.
He's got something today, I can tell you that today. He's got something today with Sherry's friends. Isn't that right, Sherry? It's quite a mystical thing what's about to happen shortly. I don't know if they'll do it in front of the camera or not, because they do not like doing it in front of the camera for some weird reason.
It's usually me to pick on though.
You don't pick on you.
It usually makes me as the example.
I think they've actually welcomed you. Actually, I think they've actually welcomed you. Actually, because there was.
Oh, I know they have, Christopher.
Yeah, I think they have.
Yeah, I always find it funny.
I always find it funny. So, Dakota, or whoever you are, what's your name?
He's trying to show you the K2.
Aye, the K2s. Look at the K2 guys. It's lighting up like a small nuclear power station.
See, they don't want to.
Drew living history over here, like, is the only man left out. He's like, what's going on?
They know everybody believes you, and it's not fair.
90% of the people in the chat believe in this. 90% of the people. There's a few people in this chat.
You know, it's the most hardest thing when you're channeling and you're communicating with something from somewhere else, and the most down feeling is when people actually criticise you and think that you're full of crap when you're not.
Yeah.
I would never ask for my abilities and stuff. You know, I was not given an option on if I wanted my abilities or anything like that, so I've had to live with it. So for me,
you put into that drawing last night.
New situations and new challenges can be very scary and very daunting for me, because I've not had that opportunity to be able to choose if I wanted to be that way or not. But
Sherry,
I have noticed the ufology.
That drawing. Have you showed everybody that drawing you did on your live last night?
That was
the video. Sorry, it wasn't a live. It was a video.
Quite a few days back, I done that.
Right. Well, see the drawing that you did while you were listening to the tunes.
Yeah.
You did that within 55 minutes. How could you actually think that up within 55 minutes? It's got to have came from somewhere. Did you see the detail in the
thing
squares?
is, like, as you could tell in the video when you watch it, I had the tones on. You could see that I was being affected by the tones, but not the way that I get affected when they're channeling. It's different because I'm only getting vision and hearing them. So I was still with it and still very aware of what I was doing, but I was in that phase that I could just keep drawing, looking up every now and again, staring at the ceiling, getting the visions, carrying on. That's how it was 55 minutes. I've had longer than that. I had that spaceship or some sort of faculty that they live in underwater that I draw. That took me 3 hours. That was 3 hours solid, just sitting there with the tones on, keep replaying them, and just drawing it. Literally.
Do you know while you were talking? Do you know while you were talking? And I don't know why I did it. I went to the CE5 app.
We are not playing them.
I know.
I know.
I know. It's as if I was, I don't know.
But that's because they're making you want to do that, because obviously they're around you and they're around us. That is what happens. But they normally
I don't want to take.
What happens normally.
Try to control myself not to do it.
Don't want to drive through it.
Panel, there is an energy flowing between us. Just got to read the chat. Hope they make it a better world of my kids. I think they will make it a better world, Claire. I think they will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
People have just got to be more open in acceptance to them and remember that not all of them are enemy. Yes, there are some dangerous ones out there, but a lot of them are not, and that they want to do the best. Hello, I can see them staring at us.
Blue people, a.k.a. the Blues. Welcome.
Hello, Blue.
If you're new, give us a subscribe. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers. We'd appreciate it, and welcome to the channel.
I'm not making hard signals, I promise.
Yeah, he's channeling.
Yeah, he's I think it's one of your.
See anything.
If it's one of your Palladian friends that's coming through.
Like, yeah, like I showed you a lot of my symbols in that the other week, like and that, but then I had the table.
Do you get any inclination of what the symbols are, though? Does that represent families, areas? Sometimes
I can get feelings in that it'll be something to do with a planet, or it'll be something to do with something specific to do with them. They don't, like I said to you, they don't really give you a lot of information off because they're not allowed to share everything with you. It's down to us to be able to find out and learn that ourselves.
Yeah.
There was one of them that looked like a map.
They'll give it, like, that's what these visions and these sightings are. They give us this for us to look into so we can work out what they're trying to tell us. They're not here to tell you what they're here to do. That is our job.
No,
that is how we're open to them.
You've got to... I mean, us as beings, we're not open to tell everybody everything about our business, so why would they?
They're definitely not. You look at how they've been treated, and they've had their own type. Like, we kill our own type, and they've had their type come here and be ended as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not going to be like that. You know what I mean? They're going to be very, very vigilant. That's why they won't communicate with you if you don't want them to communicate with you. You've got to want to. They're not just going to jump on you and start doing whatever. They're not like... Yeah. Like, you could go into a place and start talking to a spirit and keep doing it, and they'll do it in the end. Do you know what I mean? With them, it's different. It's about building the trust with them and things. You know, they're not dead. They're not dead. They're a living being like we are. You know what I mean?
They've been doing experiments for years for a reason. We need to figure out what the reason was.
Because we're all connected. Yeah, we're not just from heaven and hell. We are from other astral places. We are from other dimensions. We have all got some sort of carnation of blood to do with alien. We are alien. We're not from a planet. We're from a star system. We are aliens like every other person in this whole world.
Already planted us all here.
Just some of us intend to be a bit more linked for various reasons.
Yeah. Some can communicate with home, if you like.
Weird that. It's actually quite a weird night tonight, because it keeps taking me to my phone and try and play the tones. I don't know why, but I'm not doing it because I don't want to see Drew living history getting drawn into this.
We've got to kind of prepare for these things. Things start going wrong when you do things like that. Look what happened last time.
See, it's actually kind of funny. I've been sitting here, and I've been listening to everything everybody's been saying, and I had made the remark earlier, that I was having flashbacks to all the things that happened with my health back in 2016, and I haven't really given that much thought in a long time. I'm gonna share the story real quick. I've never told anybody besides my wife, and frankly, it scares the hell out of me. I'll be completely honest about it. But I think I'm in the right group of people now that I can actually talk about it without breaking into tears out of fear.
Oh.
Ever since I was a small child, very small, 3, 4 years old, I had dreams of, what people would call abduction dreams. And from maybe 12 or 13 years old until 2016, they stopped completely. Didn't have them anymore. I was in a coma for 10 days. When my body started shutting down the third time, they put me in a medically induced coma. Well, when I was in that coma, scientifically, medically speaking, when you're in a coma and your brain is not receiving input, you're not talking, you're not hearing, not seeing. In the medical field, when your brain starts to create filler or input, they call that coma psychosis. I've seen places in that hospital that they tell me don't exist in that hospital.
Really?
I remember waking up in a room. It was pitch black outside the windows. Everything was white. There was a little teeny tiny radio sitting on a shelf right in front of me, playing really soft music. I was in a suspended hammock. Suspended from 8 different points, all 4 corners and the middle of each straight line, hanging from the ceiling. Even the cables were white. Now, I remember a nurse walking in and talking to me. I asked her where my wife was. She said, "Oh, she's outside having a cigarette. She'll be back just a little bit." She gave me something to drink. I fell back asleep.
Wow.
I remember waking up again. It was dark. I was in this same room again. Same scenario. Gave me something to drink because I was dry. I passed back out. I later woke up in a place that was, it almost looked like some kind of a futuristic home health care kind of place. There was hard cabinets all around. There was a sling suspended in them. And I sat there and I was watching this television monitor, and they were talking about part of your recovery is a good start to your day. When you see your nurse, make sure and ask her about the fruit smoothies handmade in our kitchen. And I asked the nurse about it. She said, "Oh no, we're not going to put anything solid in you yet. You're just coming out of this." I was not just coming out of it, because it was 3.5 days later that they sat me on a bench with a hole in it, and I put my face in it, and they started bringing me out of the coma.
Right.
When I got home 4 days later, for almost a month, my abduction dreams came back. I actually seen myself being moved away from the bed towards the door on a hovering stainless steel board. These were not grays. These were not the tall, skinny, grayish, icky, big-eyed, blah, blah, blah. These things were white, almost luminescent white.
Were they friendly, Drew?
There was 4 of them. One at each end, pushing and pulling me, and 2 walking beside me, trying to talk to me. And I woke up long enough to see them move away from the bed and start to go out the door. Those dreams came back for a month.
How was your recovery for your illness?
Look at my hairs. All standing up.
Did you recover?
There is no recovery.
When you had these visits and things like that, after like you're recovering for a month, did you find that you healed quicker?
I lost weight.
You will.
I lost almost 40 pounds in that month. Now, granted, I had diabetes. Okay, diabetes is a worldwide thing. Everybody knows somebody that suffered from diabetes. People know people who have died from diabetes. And I dropped all that weight, but my numbers were never controllable. They say 100 to about 130 is perfect. I've never dropped below 350. All the medicine, all the insulin, all the pills, nothing drops me below 350.
See, it's keeping you healthy because that's a healthy weight.
Well, not my weight, my blood sugar. My blood sugar stays at 350.
Right.
My weight stays right around 220. I was 265 pounds when it hit me.
Because looking at you, you look as if you're about the right weight you should be for a man your age, So you look healthy enough to me.
Dinner's done, and you said you'd be done already.
Just to let people on the podcast know do actually look pretty healthy, guys.
Just about done.
So I think that was a positive.
To me, it sounds like that they were taking you, and it sounds like when you was getting that board that was taking you back and forth, it sounds like they were taking you to help your recovery as well.
Yeah.
Like, even though you was in hospital and recovering, they were doing things with you as well. Like, you're saying that your readings should be low, but they've always been high, but you've not had anything that affects you to the extent that you need to be in hospital, have you? Like, you feel okay. So...
Well, yeah, I still have the dizzy spells. I still get very lightheaded. I have that neuropathy problem, the constant tingling and numbness in my feet and hands. While you guys were talking about it, as a matter of fact, I was sitting here and my finger was down on the desk doing this. I was having that muscle spasm. I'm losing my eyesight. I mean,
right.
I'm having all the problems of a bad diabetic, but I'm not a bad diabetic.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that oh yeah, the best I can. I mean, we don't have a lot of money, especially now, for me to get the special foods I need to eat and stuff like that. And I can't expect 3 other people to follow my diet.
Some alternatives though, and some remedies and things that's natural, Drew, because a lot of the time, a lot of people think they need medications and things, and there is always a herbal alternative. Just try and maybe research into that and what grows in your local area and things.
Yeah. But to me, it sounds like they're helping you.
I actually take cinnamon, which is very, very good for bringing down your blood sugar. I'm on a natural. I'm on a natural multivitamin that keeps me, from getting my Charlie horses and stuff like that. It don't really stop anything else.
Ginger? Do you like ginger?
I liked Marianne a lot more.
Because if you like ginger, try using a wee bit of ginger and things in it. It's good for your
Yeah.
metabolism. So try using ginger and things.
It's been-
Your cinnamon.
It's been a really interesting night tonight, hasn't it?
It has.
It has. Dakota
It's
definitely
been-
is not with us.
Yeah, near ma. I'm running on emergency power right now. I'll tell you why after this. But I would like to thank everybody for coming, you know. And we'll be doing a show on Wednesday, but then we might put out a show on Saturday, Christmas Day obviously, but it will be a pre-recorded show if it comes out on Saturday. So I would like to thank Sherry for coming, Drew for coming, and Drew from Living History for coming, and obviously my lovely co-host.
Always a pleasure.
I can get away with saying that when he's away with the fairies, you know. I can get away with saying that, you know. But without further ado, Dakota, would you like to play the wee Christmassy thing? And then...
There you go. So what would you like for
Beyond.
Christmas?
I'm never drinking again. Who ordered the shot? Whoever ordered the shots, you're not my friend anymore. Oh, I gotta poop.
Ooh, that's a very special present.
Well, honestly, Dakota, honestly, I just don't know sometimes. Guys, have a great Christmas and a lovely New Year. If you don't see me again,